Contrary to popular belief, the Star Wars prequels are some of the best movies in the Star Wars universe, both canon and non-canon. They contribute more meaning to the story of Star Wars by adding more planets and alien races, showing never-before-seen uses of the Force, giving the origins and motives of Darth Vader, and, most important, showing the rise of the Empire and the fall of the Jedi Order. In the original trilogy, there are only 3 or 4 non-human races that are pertinent to the story. Chewbacca, the Ewoks, Greedo, and Jabba the Hutt are the most important non-human characters. In the prequels, however, there are constantly non-human characters that are making a difference. Jar Jar Binks, one of the most hated characters of all time, is constantly making a change. It is only through his efforts that Anakin and Padme meet, the War of Naboo is won, and it is directly because of Jar Jar that the Chancellor becomes the Emperor. There are also side characters that are non-human that make a huge difference, such as members of the Jedi Council, the Kaminoans who created the Clone Army, the Trade Federation, and most of the Separatists are non-human. In the prequels, we also get to see more planets. In the original trilogy, we see a desert, Tatooine, a forest, Yavin 4 and Endor, and an ice wasteland, which is Hoth. In the prequels, we see Naboo, an Earth-like planet, Geonosis, a planet of insects, Kamino, which is a water planet, Kashyyyk, the Wookiee planet, which is a forest planet, Mustafar, which is a giant volcano, and a planet that is one giant city, which of course is Coruscant. The prequels also expanded on the Force. Anakin is constantly having nightmares of people he loves dying. Yoda tells us that these are possible visions into the future. In Attack of the Clones, we see Yoda reabsorbing Force lightning and converting it into energy so that he can fight and eventually defeat Count Dooku. We see the Force being used as an early warning system by Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin while protecting Padme. We also see the ability of the dark side to cloud the truth. Although the current Jedi Council are some of the most powerful Jedi to ever exist, they cannot see the evil that they come into contact with on a daily basis. One of the biggest flaws that the Jedi have is their lack of emotional intelligence. Anakin grew up as a slave, with no worth, and watched everybody he has ever loved die, with few exceptions. Hate, anger, and sadness are all reasonable emotions to be feeling in his position, but the Jedi way is to take negative feelings and simply stop feeling them. This leads to Anakin not knowing how to deal with his emotions, so he bottles them up until he has to let them out, perhaps by murdering countless children. The dark side gives him the emotional intelligence that he craves. It tells him that feelings aren't a bad thing, and to use those feelings to get stuff done. This lack of emotions is both an origin of Vader and a major part of the fall of the Jedi. The Jedi have also become complacent. When we first meet Anakin, he shares the same view as most of the galaxy, that no one can kill a Jedi. The problem is, with very few exceptions, the Jedi themselves believe that. They think that there have been no Sith for over 1,000 years because they haven't sensed them. In reality, the Sith have lived on and have only become stronger, and the Jedi have simply lost their ability to feel the dark side of the Force. One of the people that the Jedi Council deal with on a daily basis is the Sith Lord himself and Chancellor Palpatine, but none of them have any clue. This arrogance directly led to their downfall. The Rise of the Empire is one of the greatest games ever played. Chancellor Palpatine, who was also Darth Sidious, was directly commanding both sides of the field. If the Separatists won, he would be Emperor, and through diplomatic deceptions, if the Republic won, he would also be Emperor. He used his immense intelligence to convince people that he knew what was best for them, and they willingly gave up their democracy in favor of a dictatorship. Although the Star Wars prequels have suffered from bad writing and even worse acting, they enriched the Star Wars universe by showing us a multitude of Force powers and gave depth to the Empire, Republic, and Darth Vader. Without these enrichments, the Star Wars universe would be just another story of good versus evil with no motives.